Goodra VSTAR is once one of the best decks in the format, but with the influx of one-shot decks, it really fell out of favor with a lot of players. But I still think it has a lot of merit in the current format because two-shot decks like Arceus and Charizard are quite prevalent. So today I'm going to be playing alongside Arceus to get the early energy acceleration, and then to help us find all our cards exactly when we need it, we'll be using Pidgeot EX with its amazing quick search ability to find all of our crazy one-of cards every single turn. So I'm trying to execute the same basic game plan every single game. I have my Arceus V-Star that I will be using to use Trinity Nova onto a Goodra V-Star. We would obviously prefer not to use Starbirth to set up and save our V-Star power to use Moisture Star, but most of the time we don't really have that luxury. Pidgeot is in this deck just so we have like all sorts of like thin counts of supporters, tools, stadiums that give our deck a bit more flexibility. I mean, we can have like a lot of crazy plays we can do. The Poppy Radiant Greninja play is really sick because we can Trinity Nova energies onto a Goodra and use Poppy to switch them over to Radiant Greninja and get a whole Radiant Greninja Moonlight Shuriken out of nowhere. I am attacking Spiritomb because I feel like Mew is a pretty good deck right now. We're pretty much taking the loss to without it. My attempt to win the Giratina matchup is play Lake Acuity and V-Guard Energy to force them to use Star Requiem through our first Arceus V-Star, and then hopefully be able to tank them out with Goodra in the late game. I'm still not totally sold on Colress. I feel like it could be researched, but overall, the list feels pretty solid right now. I had a couple pretty solid games that I'd like you to check out. Alright, so we're taking Arceus Goodra Pidgeot onto the ladder. I'm pretty excited to see how this deck fares because Goodra seems very good against decks that do not have a consistent way to one-shot it. But something like Gardevoir and PAL definitely feels like it could be pretty challenging for us. We're hoping that we like face some of those like Charizard is everywhere. I've been very interested to actually see how the Giratina matchup feels because like we're kind of banking on our V-Guard or our Lakes to really buy us time in the early turns, or like at least make it so our opponent has to Requiem through the first guy. Or against Mew, so we are packing that Spiritomb. Opening hand has some pieces for sure, but not anything super good. Like if we can find Pidgey, like if this Colress can get us Arceus V Pidgey energy, this hand goes from energy. That's certainly a start. This hand, like if we find Pidgey, imagine if we find Pidgey to we're on first. Oops, I can't believe I forgot that. Okay. Well, this is where it's awkward because I need to keep all these pieces. I will discard Rope. I guess a Pidgeot EX. Feels so bad, but I think this is the choice. Okay, I will grab Arceus V and our other Pidgeot EX prize. Of course, that's how it works, right? Should have discarded Rare Candy. Well, okay, is Tomb in the deck? It is. Of course, that's how it works. Dang it, so we definitely, like, it's for sure the correct play to Ultra Ball out that Pidgeot, just because we have less ways to find the Rare Candy than we do the Pidgeots. It's unfortunate that we just, since we did it blind, we did not know that we prized the Pidgeot. It's how it is sometimes. We're up against a Mew VMAX deck, they get down that Oricorio on the first turn, so definitely a very good Pokemon for them, because it means my Trinity Nova, if I have a double turbo energy on, cannot take this knockout. So yeah, we're not really feeling super happy right now. I honestly kind of wish this was a research now. Like that's like one thing I sort of need to mess around with still is what's better, Colress or research? Because like the Colress knock is gonna mean we don't have to discard our like candy pieces, energy, or things like that we don't really want to discard. But I'm also gonna see as many cards. So I think are we up against the double turbo builds? We might be considering trekking shoes, but you know, I guess Oricorios isn't both builds right now. Really frustrating though to get hit with that on the first turn because then we can't take two prizes. We'll like two-shot this first Mew. But if this is the a fusionless build, Spiritomb's gonna carry. Okay, it is a fusion build because there's the Meloetta. All right. So, Spiritomb is not going to carry then. Alright, at least a Sparkle is going to get them... I'll tell you, it'll be interesting because I'm probably not going to prioritize Genesect. So if they go like Mew, Meloetta, Spiritomb is going to be potentially a very strong card. So, yeah, they're not putting energies on the Genesect, so definitely going to be getting Spiritomb down. And this should be pretty solid for us then, because like unless they like their other Sparkle or something, they actually only save room for 2 Genesects. Like, even if we don't Tomb, they really don't have a ton of draw support going. I really hope we don't get past this turn. Like, if like, we can get the Goodra going, especially if we turn off their energy, or turn off their abilities so that they can't, so that they can't have any crazy combo plays, they still opt to retreat into the Genesect despite having Oricorio in play. That's okay. I'm gonna just Colress first. Tomb for sure. Double Turbo. I think. Do we care about Lake? Not really. I'll take the water, I think, instead. Like, after we Starbirth, we don't really need abilities for the rest of the game, so. Do we even need to Starbirth? Do we need to? Tomb is always getting benched. That's without a doubt. Always putting this down. Like, I could get Supporter for next turn plus Goodra VSTAR, which isn't bad. I think I'm gonna do that, because otherwise my hand is dead. And if I get pathed, we'll be in a pretty challenging position. So I'll go ahead and grab Iono or Colress. I think we'll take Colress, just so if my opponent is not doing a whole lot, we don't give them a hand refresh. So there's Goodra V, or Goodra VSTAR, and we'll hit for 160. Alright, and then we'll go for a metal and a couple waters. Alright, come on. Sometimes dragging energies is kind of clunky in this game. So let's see. If my opponent has at least a Sparkle, then we'll not be feeling stupid. Like, if they can go like Sparkle and then copy Melodious Echo, that's what we're like. Stacking the 2 fusion energy on the first turn is pretty scary. There's an Ultra Ball. I'll get them their Mew VMAX going. What's pretty interesting is, like, if they like Sparkle to the if they Sparkle to the 2 Genesects, they would need a tablet to take this knockout this turn with the Melodious Echo. So the V Guard, I guess more than that because of the V Guard, or because of the double turbo. Whoa, that was a crazy glitch. Mew got a little too up close for my liking. So they evolve into the Mew VMAX. They switch to get back into the Mew VMAX. So we're at least getting hit this turn, but how much damage is, they don't have anything to get around Spiritomb. They are totally getting bricked out by it. So they're probably just gonna copy. I wonder if Glistening Droplets is the play. Like, they're gonna double Glistening Droplets to KO Spiritomb or something like that. That is, I don't know if that's our best play, because that's basically, they're basically giving up 3 prizes to take this 1 knockout. Yeah, they're just gonna hit with a Psychic Leap? No. What was... Oh, Melodious Echo? Yeah, Melodious Echo, it looks like. I was confused for a second, but we do have the minus 50. So I don't really need Panic Mask. I don't really need backup Arceus, so we'll just take both double turbos and a V-Guard energy. I don't mind establishing another Arceus and putting a V-Guard on it. And then we'll just punch for 160. Almost certainly we're going to get hit back for a knockout. Like, yeah, because, well, Techno Blast is actually not hitting for enough right now. So I guess they need a tablet. It's hitting for 160 right now. So if they have a tablet or a belt or something like that, they can take the knockout. There's another Mew VMAX. Or I guess if they swing with this guy, they're still 10 short, actually, because of the V-Guard. They top deck the Mew VMAX. Alright, they're running a Spiritomb knocked out. They'll probably copy Max Miracle or Echo or something. Interesting. Well, we're still going to basically be 3 prizes ahead. That's a huge win. I'll just be going in with the Goodra Rolling Iron. And they're still going to have to take 3 knockouts to win this game, because I'm not going to bench another 1 prize Pokemon. I'm just going to chill with the Goodra here. I don't really... I'll put the water, I guess, here, just so maybe we can pivot and still be able to attack. We'll take the knockout with Rolling Iron, make this Goodra very hard to KO. Actually, is it impossible? Yeah, because I guess no, because they still have fusion energy left. They get it for 280 with Malouetta and buff it up with all sorts of power tablets. So I guess theoretically we still could get knocked out this turn, but it's not super likely. My opponent does get their abilities back. They put the fusion energy on the active. There's a Genesect. But we only need 2 attacks to win the game, and they need 3. That's what we have going for us. That even if this Goodra gets 1 shot this turn, we can hit them right back, and they have to find a way to almost like deny a prize. And I guess okay, box doesn't do anything because even if we take the damage, not only can we not one shot them, but like if we're knocking out this Mew, we're winning the game anyway. So they put the power or the Force Seal on that Genesect. They left no bench space for a backup Mew to like retreat into. Or Choreo, I guess probably was a solid bench. It just feels like really annoying right now. So they're gonna go ahead and boss orders down this Arceus. I'd love to have a spot for a Mew right now, but it's just not working for them right now. So they'll grab one card with that Genesect. They're playing Trekking Shoes and Fusion Mew, which is something we don't usually see too often. Okay. So they just took that top card. They have the Choice Belt to slap on Meloetta. Definitely would rather have a Choice Belt here. Yeah, they're taking this. No, they're not, because they're just hitting 210. Minus 30 is 180. So they're going to have to fish out a power tablet. Definitely punished for dropping the box on the Mew. If I were them, I would have just thrown the box on the Genesect. Yeah, that definitely was not a very good play, because like then they'd be able to save the Forest Seal Stone. Wait, what? Am I missing something? They don't take this knockout. Yeah. What? Okay. They forgot about V-Guard energy. So I'll just drop another energy on the active. I'll slam down Iono. Don't really want to drop Pidgey at this point because then that makes their prize map a lot easier. I'll hold the Lost City. We have boss in hand to win the game. We'll just hard retreat, go back into the Goodra. What a strange turn. Definitely missed by putting the box on the Mew, but they just didn't even use the card that they grabbed off for a Seal Stone. So did they like think they had the knockout, then realize that they didn't have the knockout, but then like be like, oh, I had the knockout after all. Like, I don't know, but they're down double boss, so it's gonna be pretty hard for them to get around this Goodra at this point. Spiritomb got way too much value early on, and it's just if they had to spend the boss to just KO Spiritomb, and they don't have it for the late game to deal with Goodra, then they really have problems. So, I mean, they have to drop my hand to get rid of the boss's orders, but they also would love to be able to knock out something this turn. Like, if they're not taking a knockout this turn, it's like, it's so horrible. I mean, it already is a very poor board state for my opponent. Just like the way, like, being able to go with only 2 Genesects early because, like, Meloetta's eating up a spot or Chorio's eating up a spot. And they just, looks like they disconnected or something, so let's take the win with the Rolling Iron, and that is a good first game. Alright, let's see how we can do this time with the good old Arceus Goodra. I like to be able to use the Pidgeot stuff this time. That first game was alright, but we pretty much walled them out with Spiritomb, and yeah, I would just prefer to be able to use, like, be actually able to use a lot of my deck instead of just, I mean, I know Arceus are fairly complex, or fairly straightforward, not a whole lot of complex actions. I like to be able to use some of the cooler tricks I have available. Sucks that we had to just discard that Pidgey super early, so we didn't have access to it for the rest of the game. So we gotta get some sort of lost build, so we should be in for a longer game, which I'm very happy about. So honestly, can't really ask for too much of a better first turn. We have plenty of Pidgeots in deck. We have Cheren's Care, we have Lakes, we have V-Guards. We have Poppy already in hand and Radiant Greninja in deck. I really love this combo in closed lists. It could be especially lethal in like any like evolving deck matchup against Lost Box. We can just start to take 2 prizes out of nowhere. I really want to face a Giratina because I want to see how my Lake and V-Guard, like my attempt to make that matchup winnable, how it actually goes. So there's gonna be another Comfy. Not gonna be giving away what version they're playing just yet. Flower selecting. So that okay, it is Giratina. That's good. That's what we want to face. And there's a Colress Experiment. So next turn, I'm gonna Ultra Ball out Melony in top deck for Arceus VSTAR, and then I'm gonna play Iono. I'd prefer to be able to hold the Starbirth if I can, but I want to make sure I get the V-Guard on the active, and we're just able to tank a hit from, or force him to Requiem that first guy. So I'd obviously love to be able to save it, to be able to Moisture Star and heal a big loss impact or something like that, or heal a spit, but probably not super practical. So they get down the Radiant Greninja, they get down a Cramorant. Honestly, if they hit this Goodra for 110, that is very bad. They do need to have one more Lost Zone. We'd probably prioritize Flower Selecting over Concealed Cards, I think. Like, they have a card. So they just need an energy drop or another switching card to be able to use a Spit instantly this turn. Alright, it's really not super painful Lost Zones. I don't really mind getting rid of water in this matchup. Giratina VSTAR also. They usually have 3-3 lines, so if they drew the water off of Flower Selecting, then this is okay, but I feel like they probably sequenced this incorrectly, and they probably would rather... I bet they did, because you always would Jet, but okay. Awkward top deck. I guess we have to dump Poppy and Melony. I guess I already lost on Manaphy, so it doesn't really matter too much that the secret's out with Poppy. Because if we're going to be able to pull it off this game, we'll need Pal Pad. Like, they don't have anything they can do about it already, so the element of surprise doesn't really matter. Obviously, I prefer... Oh my goodness, what a cracked hand. So, what I'm going to do this turn, we will Candy into Pidgeot. I'm going to use this to find V-Guard energy. Well, I probably should have just roped first, straight up. Give my opponent as minimal information as possible, and maybe they can promote the Tina, or I guess they know with Arceus VSTAR we have a solid collection of cards anyway. So I'll play an escape rope. They go into Comfy, so I'll go slap a V-Guard on the active. Nest Ball can get me down. What's better? Radiant Greninja is pretty solid, but I do sort of want to set up a backup Goodra V. I guess I'll go for the Radiant Greninja, I think. I don't need to set up Goodra just yet. So I'll just bench the Radiant Greninja. I don't really need to conceal cards, but I think it's okay. But I think we'll just hold off for now and use Trini Nova for the knockout. It's honestly amazing that we drew into all the Pidgeot stuff, so we did not need to use Starbirth. We can hold it for Moisture Star. Now the next phase of our plan is have our opponent use Star Requiem to KO this Arceus V Star. That would be incredibly ideal. Panic Mask doesn't really do too much in this matchup. Okay, so we'll see what our opponent has to offer this turn. They didn't really use a ton of resources on that first turn. Sometimes Giratina has to sort of go through a lot of sauce in the early turns just to get to 7, get to 4. But our opponent had some relatively pain-free Lost Zones, Comfy, Water, and Manaphy. So now they found a Colress off that Iono, and they haven't used Flower Selecting yet. So they've drawn a pretty solid game for Tina. Like, Tina's pretty hot or cold. Like, you're either drawing straight gas or it feels horrible. And this is not one of those feel horrible games. It's more one of those straight gas games. So honestly, 2 more pretty pain-free Lost Zones, considering you've already Lost Zoned a Tina, and you've already lost, and like Sableye isn't going to be doing too much in this matchup, especially because I'm already evolved up. Like, I think it could clean up a Goodra that's been lost impacted into. I'm okay seeing Iono go, but they are up to 7 this turn, so they have access to Mirage Gate. If they don't, like, honestly, they could try to. I'll go into Radiant Greninja. Poppy is still not a horrible card because, like, I can bet 90 on this Tina and be able to follow up with Rolling Iron and knock it out. Huh. Interesting. And I can still take a prize knocking out Comfy. So it'll hit me for 110. I can't Poppy yet this turn, though. I'd have to top deck Pal Pad. And Path to the Peak is gonna make that pretty impossible. But how many ropes is that? That is 1 rope there and none of the Lost Zones, so I was sort of hoping that maybe we could, like, Moisture Star and throw this guy in the active spot. But probably for me this turn, it'll be attach the water to the Radiant Greninja. Okay, we can just build up a second Goodra, I guess. This is okay. We have the other Goodra V-Star in deck, as well as plenty of energies. Alright, so I'll just attach this to retreat. We'll go into the Arceus VSTAR. I'm just gonna hold the Panic Mask. It might just end up being Ultra Ball fodder. I don't really know where I could put it where it would matter. I don't think there is a spot. So we'll just hold it. Like if we find an Ultra Ball to get Goodra, we want to have the cards that we can discard. So we have more than enough energies in play to do something crazy with Poppy. Honestly, Poppy, it could be how we end up closing out this game. Because we like hit this Tina for 200, then we can hit like Comfy Tina, take 3 prizes, and close it out. Path to the Peak is very annoying. We haven't seen any of our stadiums yet this game. So we'd really love to find something. So there is a Colress Experiments. So I'm probably going to be able to get to 10 this turn, honestly. Or well, we'll be able to get to 10 because of flower selecting. Because of Colress. They just have to find a Psychic Energy and a switching card. Oh, wow. So only 1 Tina this game, I guess, is what that means. That's kind of big. Now I feel like I can win this war of attrition. I'm at 4 prizes. Like, you Requiem, you lost Impact, but like I'm 2-shotting you. So we're fine. I guess if it's Thornton, that's really the only thing that could mess with us. They have to lost on a Mirage Gate, so they had some pretty optimal luck with Lost Zones in the early turns, but now it's kind of started to turn on them. That's like how it feels with Lost Zone decks sometimes. Like your deck is like actively trying to make you lose because they're just like giving you bad cards over and over again. So chuck back in Cram, Water, and a Psychic. We're probably using Mirage Gates. Probably like Water here, Psychic here, Star Requiem, if I were to guess. And then I will promote... This is where Raihan's... Okay, with the Water there. Raihan's pretty good because we can find a stadium and actually be able to... you start using our Quick Search once again. Almost certainly they're going to be using Star Requiem. If they just use Lost Impact, that seems pretty wasteful. And like, considering I could always use Cheren's Care. Yeah, Star Requiem makes a ton of sense. Okay, a little bit of... I like don't know why there's like lag after the Star Requiem. Like the client has to process that this Pokemon just got knocked out in 1 hit. Let's promote the Pidgeot. Panic Mask is no help. I will put the Water on the Radiant Greninja. I will go ahead and find a Lake. Then I think I could like Quick Search for like... So there's 2 paths down, or there's only 1. Let's see, none in the Lost Zone. And 1 discard pile. I guess we just conceal cards first. Let's see what this finds us. We don't really need this double turbo energy. Alright, backup stadium is kind of what I was worried about. So I'm gonna Quick Search. I'll find the Pal Pad to chuck back in Poppy and Raihan. I think that's probably probably Iono and Poppy. And so we have the Lost City to potentially get that going next turn with the Quick Search. I will then use Moisture Star and heal all this damage. I do still have to do that because I'd be taking minus 100 thanks to the Lake and Rolling Iron, but they can hit me for 180. So we'll see what all they can do this turn. If they can boss and KO Pidgeot, that'd be sort of annoying. But like, how are they gonna close out this game then with being Lost Zones the rest 13 is presumably? Like, I have seen lists in the past that play like 4-4, 4-3, but are pretty few and far between anymore. So conceal cards. They really have to take a knockout this turn. Like, just they can't really slam into this Goodra. Like, that's a pretty big L. But they definitely like boss KO Pidgeot would be very frustrating. Like, maybe benching the second Goodra is like technically a misplay because it means my opponent can win with like boss, where if I just have like just these 2 other guys on the bench, it's hard for them to do that. Looks like they'll be going for a Sableye this turn. That's okay by me because I'll just grab Quick Search for boss and KO or Giratina. But they can KO the Greninja, so they put the Psychic there. Are they going to be using Lost Mine this turn? There is another Path to the Peak. Yeah, they could just start. Okay, they're gonna knock out my Pidgeot, And then they're like gonna try to close out this game with like Sableye plus Hand Disruption probably. Like their next turn is probably gonna look like Rod back in Tina, and Roxanne. Just like try to rebuild that Tina and hope that the path rocks bricks me. Honestly, not a bad plan. So let's promote this Goodra. Like this is overventing this very bad. So probably should have just gone for the one Goodra in hindsight. I'll go ahead and drop the Lost City. Wait, Lost City wins it. Hold up. Yeah, Lost City just straight up wins it for me. Yeah, Lost City is game. They can't get back this Tina. I guess I forgot that they had all those dudes in the Lost Zone. So unless they're playing 4-4, not much they can do now. Like they can Sableye me, but how are you finding your last prize card? I guess maybe Echoing Horn. That'd be kind of wild to lose to Echoing Horn. That'd be absolutely bonkers. Like now you can't ever knock out either one of these guys in a timely fashion. I guess what they could do is they could hit me for like 110 plus Roxanne. It's like hope that I do not find a VSTAR. It's a really hard punish for dropping this Goodra. Had I just held it, we would be in like pretty much a winning position. Like there's not a whole lot my opponent could do then. But yeah, if they can like Roxanne, like they don't necessarily need Roxanne considering how weak my hand is. But like if they just drop 12 on the Goodra, or they can even just do 10 and 2, that's not bad either. That's probably optimal. Because then they cut off my draw engine and put this thing in Lost Mine range. This will be a pretty spicy game to close out. We pretty much have to top the Goodra VSTAR. So I'm sort of like actually hoping for Roxanne so we get to see more cards. For Iono so we get to see more cards. My opponent obviously doesn't know that my hand sucks, but also they know that if I would have Goodra VSTAR, I would have evolved it by now. Right. But they lost in a Sableye, so they have to counter this stadium. Alright, they do. Alright, Roxanne, I'm very okay with that. I'm very alright with it. Colress and Boss. So Colress is going to have to get us to the VSTAR. They also do have to find a Switch this turn. Like, none of this even matters if they can't find Switch. They have Rope and Cart down. Imagine, though, like, if they, like, leave the Frog on the board and I, like, top deck Poppy. That'd be so sick. This is, like... The lake seemed kind of nice in this deck. What I'm worried about is, like, it always gets bumped by Path. Like, perhaps just straight Lost City is better. Like, if I had more than one Lost City, this would be, like, game over. Like, if I hit it off this Colress and can Lost on this Sableye, you like, pretty much never see 3 Sableyes in a Giratina list, so... Should be... We just have to find this Goodra off this Colress, basically. Assuming my opponent plays it that way. Looks like they're gonna put... They should just put 10 there, 2 there. I guess the only reason to not KO the Greninja is so you could see one more card off an Iono potentially. I guess there's that. That is an interesting debate because like if I Iono you to 1, I don't think they're still gonna go for the KO on the Greninja. I feel like that's correct because it means I have one less way to win the game because I know I have all the Poppy stuff. They know that's like my only way of drawing cards at this point. Lake. Dang. That is not a Goodra VSTAR. Okay, well, I'm going to grab an Arceus V off this. I'll grab Cheren. And what the heck, we'll grab Candy. Darn it. Yeah, punished very bad for wrenching that Goodra. I'm not going to counter their stadium. I'll bench the Arceus. Maybe like they'll have like a... Just so we don't lose to Rope plus Belt. We'll keep the stadium in place so they can see less total cards. So they have to find Super Rod and they have to find Ball Search, have to find an Energy, and have to find a Switch. So yeah, overbenching that Goodra is probably going to cost us the game. Very unfortunate we could not find... We still had like, what, 3 Ultra Balls left? We sold the other Goodra VSTAR. I mean, we price checked. We knew it was in there. Pretty unfortunate. So yeah, if we don't overbench this, we are 100% winning this game. But yeah, they have the Rod Nest Ball just straight up. Now, do they have... And the gate. They literally had the 3 cards they needed to win, so... Very unfortunate. My opponents drew very well with the Roxanne, but most importantly, I messed up. If I don't bench the Goodra, there's no way we lose this game, because they'd be on all their Tinas, and we have no way to close it out in 2 turns. It is what it is. I've been playing pretty poorly today, whether it be on stream and now in this video, but it is what it is. Very close game. We definitely could have taken the win had we played it just a little bit better. A very fun deck. I definitely could have played that last game a lot better. I hope that in these 2 games I was able to sort of convey what the deck is trying to do. I know it's very hard to show off like the whole combo that we can do with Pidgeot in just like a 20 to 30 minute video, but I hope that this at least helped you out in some way. And at the very least, you have a starting list to go off of if you want to play this deck yourself. Any questions, always leave them in the comment section or join my Discord linked in the description. Thank you for taking the time out of the day to watch this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.